Did Red Dead Redemption 2 peak too early? You see, a lot of people say that their favorite part of Red Dead Redemption is trekking through the endless blizzard in Chapter 1. Listening to Dutch ramble about some sort of plan while your boy in the back is getting frostbite. And somehow that's what keeps people coming back to the game all these years later. I'm joking. I don't think anyone wants to play Chapter 1 ever again. Just do yourself a favor and make sure you have a save at the start of Chapter 2. Just do it right now. See, a lot of players say that Chapter 2 is peak Red Dead. It's the perfect Wild West fantasy. Wanna rob a bank? Go for it. You want a hot bath? It's gonna cost you some money. You wanna drag an O'Driscoll through the streets of Valentine? You might face a little bit of resistance, but you can do it. And it only gets better once you realize that, wait, I probably shouldn't say this part yet. Chapter 2 is when the world truly opens up. It's pure cowboy magic.
Well, I don't know anything about that. I didn't save me.
If you had to pick one chapter that you would consider a golden chapter in Red Dead 2, this would be it. The world really starts to open up and you're free to do whatever you want. Missions, side activities, legendary hunts, you choose your own journey.
Hey, I don't even remember what I need to forget. I don't believe it.
You want to get off the grid and lose the gang? Go on legendary hunts. Go fishing. Go ahead and find secret hideouts. This is the moment that you really feel like a true outlaw in a world that no longer wants your kind. And it's this freedom of choice that makes Chapter 2 so enjoyable. My first time playing Red Dead 2, I felt like I did everything. But after coming back years later, I realized that I missed so much. Back then, I was locked in on the story. But at the same time, I was just sidetracked by the sheer beauty of the world. I just wanted to interact with it. I wanted to see the NPCs and see how they would interact with me when I was doing something stupid.
You're real bad at tailing folks, so quit it. The hell's the matter with you?
And honestly, the realism in this world still blows me away, even on old consoles. If you know anything about Red Dead, you know the Wild West is not for the weak.
Driscoll's will see you under. Eat this.
And the gang you're with, well, they're not the brightest group. They're kind of a mess. A bunch of burglars, thieves, and just all around scumbags. But at the same time, they're kind of cool and camp life is kind of chill. Unless you're Dutch, because Dutch is out here asking for tent upgrades because his tent is like too uncomfortable while the rest of us don't even have walls on our tent. And yes, I accidentally bought his stupid tent upgrade like an idiot. But in all seriousness, Chapter 2 has some of the most special moments with the gang. It reminds me of early Naruto right before the end of the tuning exams.
I had a goddamn plan!
But hey, at least there's a plan. And don't get me wrong, it's not just the gang that makes Chapter 2 feel so special. It's what you find when you're out just wandering. No missions, no objectives, just out in the wild interacting with the map. It literally might be one of my favorite things to do in all of video games. What are some things you could find? Dinosaur bones? Yes. UFO encounters? Yeah, that too. And giant skeletons? I literally have to ask myself, why are there giant skeletons around here? Like, is there some sort of lore that I'm missing? This thing has hair. Why does it have hair? I think my original playthrough of Red Dead Redemption 2 was like over 200 hours, and I'm still finding new things today. That's the magic of Red Dead's world building. It's why I keep coming back. Literally last night, I was out hunting near Lake Isabella, and I saw this little house on the edge of a frozen lake. So I obviously went and investigated it. As I started approaching the house, I realized to the right of it, there's a dug up grave. Arthur takes out his little notebook and starts drawing a little sketch of what he sees. And mind you, I have no idea this is like some sort of side quest, some sort of lore, some sort of event that's going to happen later on. But these are just some of the little things that makes this world feel so alive.
Test my innocence.
I met her new sweetheart up by the falls. Fella was lucky not to end up like her husband.
If he was any kind of man, I wouldn't be here.
Man,
That's Red Dead. It feels like every single moment in this game is handcrafted. Like, I was just minding my own business in Valentine when I saw this window covered up by newspapers and it had the smallest hole in it. Normally, I'd ignore this, but there was an option. I could go ahead and peek through and see what was happening. As I lean in, I realize what's happening in this building. There's some sort of backroom operation. They're counting money. There's guns, there's women, there's men. All I know is something's off here. So I go into the store and I head towards the back, and there's a door, so I go ahead and knock on it. The guy opens up the little slider and says, "What do you want?" Obviously, I don't even know what I want, so he closes it on me and says, "Go away." So I started talking to the clerk, and there's no option for me to ask him, what's going on in the back, because obviously he's probably in on it too. Well, this is when I realized I'm playing Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm an outlaw, right? So I'm gonna do what an outlaw does. I pull up my mask and I pull out my revolver.
I don't treat folks who cover up their identity.
Let me into that back room of yours.
And all of a sudden, the clerk wants to cooperate real fast. We head towards the back room, and I'm not gonna lie, things get a little messy.
Hey, open up!
Yeah, it's only the doc.
Looks like a nice little business you
Shit!
After all that, I find one of the best pistols in the entire game. And this is something that I never even realized you could do during my first playthrough. I must have just missed these little moments. But the best part about this is that it's all in chapter 2.
Well then, I guess we got a big problem, don't we?
Cooper!
Even getting this ability to go on legendary hunts early on from one of your missions with Hosea. We go up in the mountains and we start hunting this legendary bear. And after he runs away scared back to camp, I'm like, you know what? This hunting thing is kind of cool. I want to keep hunting. I take the pelt to get some exclusive gear, which is what I'm wearing in this video. And then I go on my next hunt. But as I'm making my way to my next legendary hunt, I find something in plain sight. I see a white horse next to a lake. Mind you, this is right after the game forced me to buy this scrawny, ugly horse. So of course I drop everything I'm doing and I go after this horse for the next 30 minutes. I finally catch her and it turns out it's a white Arabian. Check online to see if it's any good. And of course it's one of the best horses in the entire game and I just happened to stumble upon it. This game, man, it's something else. You see, when I get nostalgic for Red Dead 2, I'm talking about chapter 2. Robbing trains, shooting O'Driscolls, and taking hot baths. Not trekking through the blizzard or playing Red Dead Online. Like, what the hell is this? The story is one of my all-time favorites, but the world is what makes me keep coming back. Chapter 2 is kind of like a palate cleanser between games. If you've ever hit that post-game depression where nothing feels the same after you play something really good, you can kind of think of it like a home base before you go on your next big adventure. But hey, that's just me. What about you? Do you still come back to Red Dead 2, or have you even played Red Dead 2? Maybe you've discovered things that I haven't even seen yet. I know I haven't even scratched the surface of this game. And if you've been vibing with the content, a like and a sub go a long way. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.